Well, let's go back to Statuary Hall, where we're joined by West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin and Kansas Representative Lynn Jenkins. Both of those are with Eamon Javers. And, Senator, you've been telling Congress to stop fighting and start fixing. Did you hear that tonight?
I did. I heard. I was very pleased with the tone. I thought it was a bipartisan tone. It put America first. It put us all together, working for the of our country and the next generation, and fulfilling our commitment to those who sacrificed for all of us. So I thought the tone was very good. We got to make sure that we follow through on it now.
Lynn Jenkins, what did you think of the litany of government interventions, though small and not all that expensive, that the president's proposing? But nevertheless, Marco Rubio was criticizing those. Do you agree with Rubio?
I agreed with the president on his goals of getting hardworking Americans back to work, getting the economy stoked, all the while addressing the issue of the debt and the deficits. I just happen to disagree with him on how we go about doing that. But that's what's nice about having folks across the rotunda in Senator Manchin, some folks we're building some relationships with, some trust through the problem solvers organization, and we look forward to working together, because I think that folks like us can come together and find the solutions that this nation needs.
Senator, I'd love to get your thoughts on his energy policy stuff. No carbon tax initiatives. He didn't really hit coal too hard tonight, but he did seem to double down on solar and renewables. I just wonder about your response to that, coming from a state where coal is obviously very important.
Well, I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. And basically, we're talking about an all-in energy policy. That means we should be doing everything that we can in every state to be totally energy independent, using the resources that we have. Coal makes up 35% of the energy portfolio that we use in this nation. And not to mention, or talk about it, or trying to use it in a cleaner fashion with the partnership with the federal government, finding a new technology way of doing it. You know, we burn less than 1/8 of the world consumption of coal in America. It'd be great if we were able to find the technology to help clean up all of the environment, all over the world. And I was very disappointed, and we're going to work hard.
Senator, it sounds like you're expecting that the executive orders the president promised are not going to be to your liking. What do you expect him to do? What do you expect the EPA to do over the next few months?
Well, I'm very much concerned on expanding executive orders from the standpoint, I think, that we should practice what our founding fathers had set up in motion and go through this process that we're put here to do in the Congress, both in the Senate and on the House side. And, you know, here we are as bipartisan, Lynn and myself, no labels. Speaking of problem solvers, we can sit down and work this out and come to an agreement. And we're hopeful that the leadership will let us do that.
Some of these manufacturing hubs, Congresswoman, I wonder if you think those will really bear any fruit. There was a point tonight where Youngstown was actually trending on Twitter. The president joked about elected officials going to some of these ribbon cuttings. But is there anything to that beyond the cosmetics?
Well, again, I think there are just some fundamental differences between the president and myself. I don't think the genius of America lies in Washington. I don't think all the problems can be solved in Washington. I believe the genius of America is in places like West Virginia and Kansas, and that the government, big government, just taking more of your money and then thinking that we all can solve the problems, that's not the way that I view the world. And so I'm probably not going to agree with the president on that.
Let me
Senator,
just say
Congresswoman. Oh, Senator, go ahead. Finish it up.
Just on the skill sets. We've got to have people with the skill sets to meet the demands that we have in our nation and for the growing world economy. With that being said, it's a shame that our school systems have let us down. We've got to make sure that we're mainstreaming these people. We have 3 million jobs, I'm understanding, with no skill sets to fill them. So we've got to do something. So I want to see the success ratio they've had, if it's something that we should expand upon. I feel very comfortable about looking at that and seeing if it's something that we could do. We're trying in West Virginia on our skill sets, our technical skill sets, and I think it's something that could work, and we should be looking at that.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin, Republican Congresswoman Lynn Jenkins of Kansas, both problem solvers. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having us.
Certainly, thanks.
Get some final thoughts tonight from our panel. Sarah.